Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator. Today, painting the wooden tokens of the wooden tokens from the rod I was working on cutting last week. For reference, here's the end of it from last time. There's not a whole lot of it left. It's like 6, 12, 18, 24, 36. Yeah, about 36 inches of this wooden rod left. In case I need to make more tokens in the future. But these are what I'm making for the Steam board game for my blue player set for the Steam Barons stock tokens. So yeah, just paint and just chill out and just not really worry too much about things. So I paint on there. I don't want to use a palette and just end up wasting stuff that way. I don't really need to. We'll start off with the end. Yeah, these they don't really stack too well because of the way that they were cut, but they don't need to be stacked that far. Yeah. So what's going on lately? Oh yeah, I was posting about the this whole video as part of my content coming up. Well, I keep forgetting that the whole um, virtual token thing is a thing. So apparently, the person who liked it was like into virtual tokens, as it were, and I'm like, uh, I should clarify. I'm referring to wooden tokens, not those kinds. I want nothing to do with the virtual tokens. Thank you very much. But it just shows that sometimes people see a word or they're operating on some kind of bot or something to look for specific words on Twitter and just they're only reacting on the basis of that instead of really giving any thought to um the content of the tweet. It's like, oh, you use this word, we're going to make sure to like your post. But what if my post has nothing to do with what you're thinking of? Anyway. Yeah, aside from that, recent stuff been going on. Oh, give me a minute. Oy. Recent stuff going on has been the debuts for Hollow Justice. Their debut song is freaking awesome, by the way. Above Below. Yeah. Um, someone from that. I know fans have been wanting more European talents for a while, and apparently finally got it with this gen. Uh, apparently one of uh, the theories was correct, and it turns out one of the people I was watching, briefly, made it in. I watched them out of curiosity because they collab with someone else that I like. So I'm curious to see if she's aware and if if she's also going to be, checking out their streams as well. I will leave it a mystery for now. Sure, most people have figured it out. I'll prefer not to let too much slip out of my own mouth when other people are all too willing to blab about that. Again, it's like, why? I see a lot of people like, oh, DM me this, DM me this info, which keeps it semi-contained instead of just blabbing it all on the net freely. But really, you know, I hate having that curiosity. It's it's hard not to have that curiosity to want to know, to want to be certain. Maybe it is kind of reassuring to know, hey, they're not completely gone. They're still around to support, to enjoy their content a little bit more, even if it's under this agency. But it's kind of a curious thing of if someone changes identities in terms of being a creator, you know, indie to corporate, corporate to indie, indie to indie, corporate to corporate, whatever, you know, how much you're still open to supporting what they do. What really, really bugs me are these. I like them better when they were, under corporate restrictions and having to be more creative about stuff instead of being open. I call bullshit on that. I I call absolute bullshit. If someone is feeling stifled from where they're at, if things aren't working out otherwise, and they would rather be free of that, I'd rather I would rather they be free. Because what happens if they they decide, oh, I want to stay for my fans, even if it hurts me. That kind of mentality does not last for very long without becoming resentful and regretful of pushing themselves to stay when they don't really want to. If people need to be free, then let them be free. One of the people I like watching is Brandon Murray, Brandon the York. There's still there's still people wishing he'd stayed, where he was in terms of, I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but it, former corporate existence. But I think if he can be happy with the freedom that he's got, why give him shit for that? You know, fuck Reddit sometimes, honestly. They're Reddit every time I look at them, sometimes well, let's say 9 times out of 10 they have a point, but that one time where they just get bitter, whiny, pretentious, elitist, whatever. Makes me wish I never looked at that site at all. I lurk on Reddit and the TV Tropes virtual YouTubers forums. I watch things that are happening there, partly because of curiosity, and I really need to learn to let go on that sometimes. My last experience with the Reddit, when I was actually active there, was with board games. Yeah, never again. Never, I never want to deal with Reddit like that ever again. Because, hell, even some of the people I talked to the game stores were like, yeah, Reddit sucks for board games. Same time, there are issues I want to see if there's any kind of solution from outside, suggestions. The board game league's over, and I'm thinking about whether or not to jump in on the next one. I need to start finding other social experiences beyond the board game league. But at the same time, I don't know if I'd actually be happy with those experiences. The other half of that is it kind of takes a little bit of money to if you're gonna go out, you want to be able to get something to eat or something to drink, unless you're going out on a picnic. Maybe that's what I have to do. Pack a lunch, go to one of the parks, spend a day out there. I mean, I could go, Monday, go, you know, after I'm done with the whole MechWarrior video or stream. Set aside some bus fare. I might end up doing the MechWarrior stream later tonight then, so that I have the entirety of Monday without having to worry about it. I need I need to reclaim as much of my lost time. Well, I don't think I can really reclaim it. I just make better use of time now for other opportunities and other things that really ought to be doing. And getting back to my stitching projects. Make use of nice materials to make something nice for me. I have all those tote bag projects I can make. I should get back to the modification project for my Sailor Jupiter cosplay and start working on my finances and be in a better place next year to go to the anime convention. make sure I get that time off. Make sure I get in the hotel reservations and the ticket and everything else. So go to Non-Desicon and start watching a little bit more anime again. We'll flip between watching anime and watching VTubers. I also want to get back to listening to my music again because let's find more time to listen to that. All these options to keep myself entertained. Let's just pick one. It's hard to pick only one. If I want to listen to music, then I don't really have anything visual to go with. If I only watch anime, then it's all scripted, and it's more fun to check out VTubers, do things a little bit more um, unscripted. If I only watch VTubers, though, miss out on the crafted experiences of music and anime and movies and books. Some people get crazy about what they like. If you like what you like, great, more power to you. But do be rational. If someone hasn't heard of what the thing that you like before, you don't need to be shoving it in their faces. If someone is not interested in something because of content reasons or the premise or whatever, don't be a jerk about it. Try to find out what they like and maybe see if there's something that you like that's along similar lines. You like history, you like board games. Maybe there's a board game about history they might like. They might have enough curiosity to at least look at. Speaking of board games and history, I picked up Tokaido from Barnes& and Noble, and then picked up the card sleeves from the game store. Going to be doing the Pillar Loves Tabletop Games episode for Tokaido after this, and it's going to be released later in the week. It'll be scheduled. I think I'll schedule it for Tuesday for release, and I'll actually get it done today. I'll get the short done today and schedule that for Thursday. I'll do the live stream for MechWarrior 5 tonight. And then I'll figure out what the hell I'm doing after that. I might do a let's look at the expansions for Robo Rally video. Schedule that for Saturday to be released. I'm thinking just having some back pocket videos of okay, I'm going to do this now and release it for when things are kind of quiet, just so the channel can keep some eyes on it. Might be for the better. Um, I see 56 subscribers, which surprises the absolute hell out of me. And I'm seeing more people being open to commenting about videos and being able to comment back and have conversations about the freaking games that I feature, because that's all I really want is to be able to talk to people about these games I feature, and just have a nice, pleasant conversation about what is, what could have been, what should be, what should be different. Uh, like the recent comment on my Clout Fantasy video from back in 2022. Um, so, from that conversation, I'm going to go look into a game called Summoner Wars and see what that game's all about. I'll keep an eye on it when I'm up in Springs on a future Saturday, because if that little conversation about Clout Fantasy encouraged them to talk about this this game that they know about, then I want to know more about that game. So I'm going to check out the game stores up in Springs and see if it's up there. Or I might just have to double check the other. We'll check both game stores here in town, here in Pueblo, just to be absolutely sure. Um, if it is if I double check Chaos and they have it, then I'm going to cross my fingers and hope for a little while that somebody freaking buys Core Space from the used section so I can afford that game. If not, I might just have to wait and get it later. But yeah, it's hard not to buy games when games are the thing that I want to do here as part of the channel. I don't. It's like the whole experiencing music and anime and VTubers and everything else. I like that variety of multiple options is what I like to have in mind for this channel as well. I don't want to just be only playing my PC games or only doing the board games. I want to mix things up and see what's possible and what works and what's could use a little bit of change, or maybe can be left off to the wayside. And a lot of ideas I've kind of tapped into once and then really never followed up on. Like I really wanted to do more animation stuff, or I want to do more choose your own adventure kind of video or something. Uh, Ideas are a dime a dozen. Actually putting in the effort into those ideas to see how well they work, if they work, and what can be the next step from those ideas. That actually that actually takes some investment, but it also has the best payoff. And sometimes things just don't work out. And and the few people that actually liked something are like, why don't you do more of this? I liked when you did this. But the fact is, it just didn't work out. And they don't really have an incentive to continue doing things that don't work out just for the sake of the few people that just happen to like it. I kind of miss, I'm sure the VODs are still there for the videos. I like the whole German fairy tale readings from Kiara, but again, those apparently did not hit as well as she would have liked. And it's probably a lot of effort more than the payoff, so it makes sense to keep doing them. Be nice to see somebody revisit the concept at least, or just as a general idea of um, reading notable stories in the language that you know. There's another idea that I had in mind is wanting to read certain liner notes from inside certain CDs that I have. I want to read the Transform. I don't know. Liner notes from Transform by Powerman 5000. Wanted to do like a reading for that. I almost want to do a reading of the Doom comic book. Let's maybe do a reading of really the first page or two of like any book, if that's okay for me to do. The first part of Templar 1 from. Oh yeah, I was looking. I'm still trying to find Empyrean Age. Um, I keep checking with used get bookstores and other thrift stores, and it's just isn't an elusive book. I see a lot of other books for like other notable sci-fi franchises. I guess the e-books are going to be hard to find. I guess someone was saying, yeah, read Empyrean Age, then read Templar 1, and then call it good. Even though there's other books. Also, still like to find um, because I have Split Infinity and Blue Adept. Yeah, I want to find Juxtaposition by Piers Anthony, just so I have the core three books of the Apprentice Adept series. I remember my grandma letting me read those books when I was like 12, 13, and I was like, really, they're letting me read these books, considering the content. Because I remember fifth, sixth grade when they actually introduced us to sex education in the schools. And after taking that course once in fifth grade, I was like, sixth grade, I was like, no, no, this broke my mind. Please don't make me relive it. But my grandma got me into these books, and it's like, oh, interesting. I have to wonder if it's contributed to any kind of warped sense of perspective that I have with regard to the subject these days. All right, I'm going to pause the video and come back for a moment. Oh wait, it won't let me pause. Never mind. Um, mm-mm. That's because I think it's still set to him going to be streaming on streaming. So that's why a little pause button's missing. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, fresh water for the paint cup. I'll get to work on the other sides. Okay. Yeah, I miss my grandma a lot. She got me into those books. She got me into first-person shooters. Oh, and happy birthday to Quake, by the way. Yeah, her main thing was psychology. Is, to her, you know, games like that were cathartic and fun, and not real. When everyone else is flipping out about violence in games and shit, it's like, well, it's entirely understandable to want to play games. It's actually better than not having not having games. Which is why I'm always supportive of games in general, but I also want to fight for just better games. Why whenever I see a game that is not as good as it could have been, I start thinking about, well, what else could be done? That's why I want to work on adding some things for globalization, like an actual personal board to keep track of um, their debt maximum. Well, um, that should not be something you worry about in that game unless you are massively stupid with money. That is the thing, isn't it? It's every time you look at something in the games like that, someone could massively screw up, and but only if they're dumb. It's like you think, who would be dumb enough? And you just need to stop yourself right there and look at the actual people who play games and realize, yeah, there are people who are either dumb or brazen enough to do the one thing you're concerned about. That's that's players for you. They will surprise you every time. At least the wild ones will. The ones that hold a very unorthodox approach to doing things. Especially when there's an expected meta approach to stuff. Apparently, like the game Puerto Rico, there's this standard opening sequence of this player's going to take this action, this player's going to take this action. Because that's, efficient and all that. And that's boring. I think it's more interesting when people do the unlikely thing. But if the game is um, not really devised to be that open, then it starts getting predictable. It starts becoming a chess-like. I think of things in terms of the chess Yahtzee dichotomy. Uh, um, no, not chess. Or not Yahtzee. The chess Candyland dichotomy. One game is full control. The other game is no control. There's a game design challenge for you. How would you make Candyland a more interesting game? Uh, a lot of games are just like, yeah, this is just to kill time. Don't think about strategies. Just roll dice, move things, draw cards, do what it says. Don't think about it. Just waste an hour or, or less or more. And it just bugs me when games are like that. I want to be able to have some kind of decisions. Yeah, a little bit of randomness might be okay. But let me be able to think about doing something different each turn if I want to. Let me have my agency in the game. That is that is the buzzword, isn't it? Agency. I want to feel like things are the result of your actions, that your actions are because you chose to do them. That you have a full understanding of the purpose of why you're doing those actions, and the two are interconnected. When there's a disconnect between the purpose your character has declared for doing something and the actions they're taking because the game is just like that, then I have a hard time connecting that. That's why I look at certain games and it's like, I have looked you up on TB tropes. I will never fucking play you. There's the other kick in the ass that I hate is the the game that makes you feel like shit for playing games. for wanting to play games. It's not enough that this is a war game. We're going to make you feel like a total shit for playing this war game. Imagine every bit of media doing that. The song that tells you not to listen, the book that tells you not to read, the game that tells you not to play, the show that tells you not to watch, the movie that tells you not to have fun with movies. That that shit pisses me off. Let entertainment and art be enjoyable and fun and maybe inspire some ideas and refresh your spirit and everything else that it ought to be doing. To let you know that it's okay to have a good time with it. But no, some people just want to ruin the concept of media for entertainment and art by making anti-entertainment, anti-art work. It's so pretentious and stupid. Who it's oh, they think they're making a statement and they're just the real statement is that they're just filled with hate and envy. They have nothing positive to promote through their creation. They're just rotten on the inside. And they want other people to feel that rottenness for themselves. Be just like them. Fuck that. Really. Tell me, show me that I can be in control of my choices, that reality is good and fair, that life is worth living, that life can be and should be enjoyed, that my productive efforts are mine to celebrate and make use of, that rational thinking does matter, that people can be and ought to be good for their own sake. Yeah, that's why I try to focus. I want to focus my efforts more on my own creative work when I can. I know, last stories and other things. Oop, hold on. All right. Yeah, I definitely want to return to some game ideas, polish them, finish them, get them tested out with a little gaming group. Then get my costumes made. Said before, I need to go do some more exercise and stuff. I do on my off hours in between work. Just either go for more walks or my board games. A lot of my board games are heavy as hell. What I want to do is get like a container, put some board games in there, and then Um, just use that as a weight that I can lift and keep my arms in good condition. There's lots of exercises I could do at home. I can't really afford to go to a gym. So whatever budget options I can devise in in my in my bedroom would be very helpful in helping me to be more active. But that means I'm not gonna be able to do a lot of playing games. I play games when I'm needing to relax and stuff, but I should spend less time. Okay, so as of this moment, I have basically gone 48 hours without playing EVE Online, which shocks the absolute crap out of me. A little live stream I did on Friday. Yeah, that was the last time I played EVE. That was me figuring out Planetary Industry, and I don't know if real my thoughts on that section, or if it was just the fact that I had to take care of other crap. But I haven't gone back to the game yet. When this is over and I upload the video, I actually need to go out and do real world shit. So I probably won't be getting back to you for a little bit. Like I said, after this, I'm going to do the Pillar Loves Tabletop Games episode for Tokaido, and then I will do the short. And those will be scheduled for later in the week. And then there'll be a video for the Robo Rally expansion since I finally picked up Wet and Wild. Just because, you know, I'll keep some board game content going on the channel. I do want to expand my library of board games because I'll have more to reference for, just talking about games in general. Like, um, the Saturday, not yesterday, but the week before, we played Viticulture, and that game broke my head. But that was, you know, knowing about that game is knowledge, and that knowledge is helpful in wanting to just make games in general. Because, hey, this is a way to do things with a game. You have your workers, you play them. Okay, so this is the essential with the Tuscany, or it's the base game with Tuscany. So there's the spring, summer, fall, winter seasons, and players for a given round play to the first season or pass. And then when people are done with that season, any workers they have left can be applied to the season after. So you might use up all your workers in spring like a fool, or you might actually have a legitimate reason for doing so, or you might have to spread them out between spring and summer, or summer and fall, and yeah. It is a worker placement game. You have you can plant vines into your fields, some of which require irrigation or trellis. Some require both. But then you can harvest the grapes, and they go to your crush pad, and on your crush pad they can age. You can turn the grapes into wine, and in your cellar, your wine will age. You have to have a bigger cellar to age them to higher values and make the higher value uh, blush and sparkling wines. You can put your wines towards fulfilling orders. Orders get you victory points, and they get you residual income, which gives you money every turn. You might get to a point of having a crap load of money, which you can trade at the little trade thing in summer for points. You might not have any order cards, so in winter there's a way to sell wine just straight up and get points for that. If you're in need of money, you can give a tour of your vineyard. Um, I think the Tuscany thing added um, um, buildings on cards that can be built. Extra effect. You can have guests over. It's summer or winter, and they do various things. And then once you cross the threshold on points, then the game goes to the end of the year, and most points wins. There's this little map thing for Tuscany where you can place influence stars. And if you have, when you place it, you'll get an immediate benefit. At the end of the game, if you have more stars there than anyone else, then you'll get the points. I had a guest um, that could mess with the map. And then someone else played a card that could mess with everybody who had all six of their stars out. Go figure. That's one of them. Alright. And those are all done. I'm glad I got this freaking battle. I didn't think I was really going to make a whole lot of use of it, but this this has served me well for covering this table and being okay, this is 1 inch, this is 3 inches at a glance. Yeah, just playing all these games, understanding how they approach certain mechanics, like the worker placement of viticulture versus the worker placement of Lords of Waterdeep versus the place your people approach of Court of the Dead, where you don't get the action when you place there. You have to have the majority uh, of your figures there to do the thing. You know, exploring all these approaches improves, you know, your ability to think about taking certain approaches to your game designs. So that's so if you so it's worth having that experience. Whether you're playing games with others, or you're owning games and exploiting it on your own at your own pace. Like certain games have these little like story aspects of don't read ahead, don't look, that are supposed to catch people off guard. But sometimes you just want to explore and understand how things work, which means having to spoil that. It's like I remember Tales of the Arabian Nights and wanting to read through that entire book, but it's like I don't want to spoil too much for me. Yeah. So yeah, these are the tokens that are going to go into Steam um, as part of the Steam Barons stock approach, well, stock market. I just need to make a little card that says, Blue Company, and then it's good to go. All right. Well, it's nice being here. It was nice painting. Um, Thanks very much for watching, and this has been Pillar Nexus, and I'll see you next time.